Have you ever wondered what happens when the quiet rhythm of our existence finally comes to a pause? We spend our entire lives moving through time, experiencing the gentle flow of days turning into nights, seasons bleeding into one another, and years stacking up like ancient memories in a vast library. We are taught from a very young age that all things must eventually come to an end. We watch leaves fall from trees in the autumn, returning to the soil in a silent surrender. We see the crumbling of old buildings, the fading of once bright photographs, and the inevitable passage of generations. Our eyes, conditioned by the everyday reality of our fragile human experience, tell us a story of absolute finality. But what if I told you that this perception of an ending is nothing more than an illusion, a trick played on us by our limited senses? The cosmos operates on rules that are far more strange, far more beautiful, and far more eternal than our minds usually dare to imagine. When we look past the surface of things, beyond the veil of the macroscopic world, and peer into the invisible, vibrating realm of quantum physics, we do not find death or absolute endings. Instead, we find a universe that is a master of transformation, an endless ocean of energy that simply changes form. The quiet truth, hidden in the mathematics of the cosmos and the microscopic fabric of reality, is that nothing is ever truly lost in this vast universe. Before we journey deeper into this profound mystery of existence and the quantum nature of eternity, I want to take a brief, gentle moment to welcome you. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion and guide through the quiet mysteries of the universe. If you find peace and wonder in these cosmic explorations, I invite you to join our community. I have noticed that 71% of the beautiful minds who watch our journeys are not yet subscribed to the channel. If you could take just a soft moment to subscribe, it helps us immensely. It allows us to continue bringing these stories of the cosmos to you, building a sanctuary where we can explore the infinite together. Thank you for walking this path with me. Now, let us return to our story, to the fabric of reality itself, and the eternal nature of what we truly are. To begin to understand the quantum perspective on life and what we call eternity, we must first look at the most fundamental law of the universe, a law so deeply woven into the fabric of reality that it governs every star, every galaxy, and every single atom in your body. It is the law of conservation of energy. In the strict, elegant language of physics, this law states a profound truth. Energy cannot be created, and it cannot be destroyed. It can only change from one form to another. Think about this for a moment. Every single spark of energy that exists right now, in this very instant, has existed since the birth of the universe nearly 14 billion years ago. The energy that powers your heartbeat, the electrical impulses that carry your thoughts, the warmth radiating from your skin, all of this is ancient. It is primordial. It is the exact same energy that once fueled the fiery hearts of ancient stars, the same energy that danced in the cosmic background radiation just moments after the dawn of time itself. When a life reaches its apparent end in our macroscopic world, the energy that animated that life does not simply vanish into the void. The universe does not work with erasures or deletions. Instead, a quiet, beautiful transition occurs. The heat of the body returns to the environment, joining the endless thermal currents of the planet. The complex molecules break down, returning their chemical energy to the earth, becoming the nutrients that will eventually feed the roots of an ancient oak tree or blossom into a wild meadow of spring flowers. The electrical energy that once formed the magnificent architecture of your consciousness, your memories, and your dreams diffuses into the surrounding electromagnetic fields of the world. In the eyes of physics, you do not cease to exist. You simply become less ordered, less bound to a single shape, and more distributed throughout the vast interconnected web of the cosmos. You expand. You become the quiet rustle of wind through the branches, the gentle warmth of the soil under the midday sun, and the soft, silent potential energy resting in a falling raindrop. But quantum physics takes this concept of conservation and stretches it into realms of profound mystery and awe. Beyond the simple transfer of heat and chemical bonds, there lies the staggering reality of quantum information. According to the foundational principles of quantum mechanics, information, the precise arrangement and quantum state of every particle that makes up your unique existence, is also indestructible. In the quantum realm, the universe acts as an infinite, flawless memory bank. Imagine the sheer complexity of a single human being. You are composed of roughly 7 octillion atoms. That is a 7 followed by 27 zeros. Each of those atoms is currently in a highly specific quantum state, entangled and interacting in a symphony of biological and physical perfection that allows you to read these words, to feel wonder, to experience the quiet mystery of being alive. When we transition out of this physical life, the specific arrangement of those atoms changes. Yes, the biological structure breaks apart, but the quantum information that described your unique configuration is never lost from the universe. It is scrambled, it is dispersed, and it becomes entangled with the surrounding environment in an infinitely complex cosmic dance. But it remains permanently woven into the fabric of reality. Some physicists suggest that if you had a powerful enough quantum computer, a machine of truly godlike proportions capable of tracking the trajectory and state of every particle in the universe, you could theoretically reconstruct the exact quantum state of anyone who has ever lived. The information is still there, floating in the quiet silence of the cosmos, a permanent record of your existence etched into the geometry of space and time. And then there is the beautiful, mind-bending phenomenon of quantum entanglement. To understand entanglement is to glimpse the underlying unity of everything that is. When 2 particles interact in certain ways, they become entangled. This means that their quantum states become permanently linked, regardless of the distance that separates them. If you take 2 entangled particles and place one here on Earth and the other on the far side of the Andromeda galaxy, roughly 2 million light-years away, they remain connected. If you change the spin of the particle on Earth, the particle in Andromeda instantaneously reacts, adopting the corresponding state, faster than the speed of light. Albert Einstein famously called this spooky action at a distance because it challenged his understanding of how the universe should work. It proved that space, the vast emptiness that seems to separate us from the stars and from each other, is not as absolute as we think. Now, think about the origins of the matter that makes up your body. As Carl Sagan beautifully reminded us, we are made of star stuff, the carbon in our cells, the oxygen we breathe, the iron in our blood. All of these elements were forged in the nuclear furnaces at the cores of stars that lived and died before our sun was born. When those ancient stars exploded as supernovas, they scattered their elemental riches across space. Eventually, some of those atoms found their way into a cloud of gas and dust that collapsed to form our solar system. They became the Earth. But in the early moments of the universe, all matter, all energy, everything that would eventually become you and me and the distant galaxies, was compressed into an infinitely small, infinitely dense point. In that primordial state, everything was interacting. Everything was deeply, fundamentally entangled. This means that on a quantum level, The particles that make up your consciousness carry the ancient echoes of that original unity. You are entirely composed of the universe, and the universe is forever imprinted upon you. You are not a separate entity walking on a stage made of dead matter. You are the universe observing itself from within. You are the cosmos looking back at its own beauty, trying to understand what it is and how it came to be. When you feel a sense of profound wonder looking up at the night sky, it is not just an emotional reaction. It is a homecoming. It is the atoms in your body recognizing the vast infinite structures from which they were born. And what does this mean for our concept of eternity? In the macroscopic world, we experience time as an arrow, a relentless forward march from the past through the present and into the future. But in the equations of quantum mechanics and the theory of relativity, the distinction between past, present, and future is merely a stubbornly persistent illusion. Many physicists subscribe to the concept of the block universe, a perspective where all of time, every moment that has ever happened and every moment that will ever happen, exists simultaneously as a four-dimensional structure. In this view, your life is not a fleeting spark that vanishes into darkness. Your life is a permanent, unchanging feature of the space-time continuum. The moment of your birth, the quiet afternoons of your childhood, the times you felt deeply loved, and the very moment you are experiencing right now as you listen to these words, they all exist forever in the architecture of the cosmos. When we try to wrap our minds around these concepts, we often feel a sense of intellectual vertigo. Our brains, which evolved to track the movement of predators on the ancient savannas and to measure the passage of seasons for agriculture, are simply not equipped to intuitively grasp the quantum realm or the cosmic scales of eternity. We are adapted for counting small groups, measuring distances we can walk, and tracking time spans of seasons and generations. Nothing in our evolutionary history prepared us for the cosmic scale. And yet, despite these biological limitations, we have developed the capacity to build mathematics, to construct philosophical frameworks, and to peer deeply into the nature of reality. We have discovered that the universe is far more gentle, far more interconnected, and far more eternal than the stark finality our everyday senses present to us. The fear of an ending is born entirely from the illusion of separation. We fear that when the physical body fails, the identity that we identify with will be severed from the tapestry of existence and cast into a void. But quantum mechanics whispers a different, more comforting truth into the silence of the night. It tells us that separation is the true illusion. At the most fundamental level of reality, boundaries dissolve. The edge of your physical body is mostly empty space, a buzzing cloud of probabilities where your electrons interact with the electrons of the air around you, exchanging energy, sharing information, and blurring the lines between where you end and the rest of the universe begins. You are not a solitary object. You are a continuous process. You are a localized ripple in an infinite cosmic ocean. When the wave crashes upon the shore, the wave disappears, but the water remains, the energy remains, the ocean remains. Imagine a single drop of rain falling into the vast, dark expanse of the sea. For a brief moment, as it falls through the air, it has a distinct shape, a boundary, a separate identity. It is a raindrop. But the moment it touches the surface of the waters, it loses its individual form. It does not die. It does not cease to exist. It simply becomes the ocean. It becomes the deep currents that traverse the globe, the gentle waves that lap against distant shores, the mist that rises into the morning air to form new clouds. Its journey is not over. It is merely expanded. It has traded a small, temporary existence for a vast, eternal one. This is the profound metaphor that quantum physics offers us when we contemplate the transition we call death. We are the raindrop, and the universe is the ocean. We are born from it, we are sustained by it, and eventually we return our energy and our information back to its infinite depths. This realization invites us to approach our lives and the inevitable transitions within them with a profound sense of peace rather than fear. It asks us to look at our existence not as a fragile flame that will inevitably be blown out by the winds of time, but as an unbreakable thread woven into an eternal cosmic masterpiece. We are ancient, and we are infinite. Every thought you have, every emotion you feel, every moment of wonder you experience is a permanent addition to the story of the universe. In the next chapter of our journey, we will explore even deeper into the quantum mysteries of consciousness, exploring how the very act of observation shapes the reality around us, and what this implies for the immortal nature of the mind. We will journey through the strange and beautiful landscapes of probability, where the universe waits in a quiet slumber until a conscious observer awakens it into existence. But for now, let these thoughts settle. Allow yourself to feel the deep, comforting embrace of an eternal cosmos, knowing that you are, and always will be, an essential part of its infinite mystery. Have you ever walked alone through a quiet, dense forest surrounded by ancient trees and wondered if the path behind you still exists when you're not looking? It sounds like a playful trick of the imagination. Our common sense, built upon a lifetime of interacting with the physical world, insists that reality is solid, permanent, and independent of our gaze. We believe that the mountain stands tall whether we climb it or not, that the moon orbits the earth in the silent dark, regardless of our watchful eyes. We assume the cosmos is a mechanical clockwork, ticking away blindly in the endless night. But when we descend into the microscopic realm, quantum physics reveals a truth so counterintuitive, so profoundly mysterious, that it shatters our everyday understanding of what is real. It suggests that reality is not a fixed, rigid stage, but a fluid, shimmering field of possibilities that only takes definite shape when someone is looking. The universe, in all its ancient glory, might be waiting for you to simply open your eyes. Before we unravel this mind-bending paradox, I want to gently pause and welcome you to this space of contemplation. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion on this quiet journey through the deepest mysteries of the cosmos. As we explore the hidden architecture of reality together, I want to extend a warm invitation. I have noticed that 71% of the beautiful, curious minds who watch our journeys have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you find peace, wonder, and a sense of belonging in these cosmic stories, please consider taking a soft moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely and allows us to continue building this gentle community of cosmic explorers. Your presence here matters, and together we can wander through the infinite. Now, let us return to the quiet forest of the quantum world and discover how your very consciousness might be the master key to the universe itself. To understand this profound mystery, we must journey back to one of the most perplexing scientific inquiries in history. It began in the early 19th century and continues to haunt the greatest scientific minds. It is known as the double-slit experiment. Imagine firing tiny particles, such as individual photons of light or electrons, at a solid barrier with two narrow parallel slits. Behind this barrier sits a detector screen that records where these particles land. If these fundamental pieces of matter were like tiny, solid marbles, you would intuitively expect them to pass straight through the slits and form two distinct, parallel bands on the screen. But that is not what happens in the strange realm of the quantum. Instead, they form a complex pattern of multiple alternating bright and dark bands, a pattern that is the unmistakable physical signature of waves interfering with one another. It is as if each individual particle splits apart, travels through both slits simultaneously as a wave of pure potential, interferes with itself on the other side, and only becomes a localized, solid particle again at the exact moment it strikes the final screen. This behavior is deeply strange, but what happens next truly defies our classical understanding of reality. When scientists, driven by the pure curiosity that defines our human spirit, placed a measuring device at the slits to see exactly which path the particle was taking, the entire system instantly changed. The very act of observing the simple, quiet attempt to gather information about the particle's journey forced the particle to behave exactly like a solid marble. The beautiful wave pattern of interference on the back screen vanished in the blink of an eye, replaced by two simple, distinct lines. The universe, it seems, knows when we are watching. Imagine scientists firing these individual electrons one by one, without a detector at the slits, slowly, point by individual point. The interference pattern of a wave builds up over time. The mathematics used to describe this, formulated in the 1920s by brilliant minds like Erwin Schrödinger and Werner Heisenberg, describe a wave of probability. It is a universe built not of absolute certainties, but of infinite possibilities. It is only when the scientist looks that the universe rolls the cosmic dice and selects one definite outcome from the infinite menu of potentials. The observer brings the physical world into being. In quantum mechanics, this phenomenon is referred to as the collapse of the wave function. Before observation occurs, a particle does not exist in a single, defined location. Instead, it exists in a state of quantum superposition, a ghostly, shimmering cloud of probabilities hovering in a delicate realm where all potential outcomes exist simultaneously. It is everywhere and nowhere at once, a pure expression of mathematical potential spread across the invisible fabric of space-time. But the very moment a conscious observer intervenes, the moment we ask the ancient universe to reveal itself, that infinite cloud collapses into a single, defined reality. This is not a mechanical failure of our measuring instruments. This is a fundamental, inescapable property of the cosmos. Reality, at its most basic level, is not entirely solid until it interacts with an observer. The implications are so vast, so staggeringly profound, that they caused sleepless nights for legendary physicists like Albert Einstein and Niels Bohr. If the fundamental building blocks of the universe require an observer to take on a definite physical form, what does that say about the true nature of consciousness itself? It suggests quite beautifully that the mind is not merely a passive mirror reflecting a pre-existing universe. It suggests that consciousness is an active, vital participant, an absolutely essential ingredient in the grand recipe of reality. Let us gently connect this realization back to our eternal journey and the transition we so often misunderstand as death. If consciousness is a fundamental force that collapses cosmic probabilities into physical reality, then it cannot easily be extinguished by the natural failure of a physical body. Think of it like a beautiful, complex symphony playing on an antique wooden radio. When the physical radio ages, breaks down, and eventually stops working, the music stops playing in that specific room. But the invisible radio waves carrying that magnificent melody do not die. They continue to ripple through the atmosphere, traveling outward at the speed of light, carrying the information and beauty infinitely into the depths of space. The temporary receiver may have failed, but the signal remains pure, intact and eternal. Many visionary thinkers in modern physics propose that consciousness might be an intrinsic property of the universe, much like gravity or electromagnetism. It is a fundamental field permeating all of existence. Our physical brains, with their billions of firing neurons, might not be the actual creators of consciousness, but rather highly tuned receivers, delicate biological antennas that tune into this universal field. When the biological receiver eventually returns to the quiet earth, the consciousness it channeled does not simply cease to be. It retreats from its localized, concentrated form and returns to the vast, quiet expanse of the fundamental field. It expands back into the infinite. This magnificent perspective shifts our entire understanding of human existence from a terrifying, finite sprint into a deeply peaceful, infinite continuum. You are not a temporary, insignificant visitor in a cold, unfeeling universe. You are an integral, absolutely necessary component of the cosmos, waking up and experiencing itself. As Carl Sagan so beautifully articulated, we are a way for the cosmos to know itself. Without you, without your completely unique point of observation, a tiny fragment of the universe's infinite potential would remain forever locked in an uncollapsed wave of probabilities. Your very presence forces the universe to become real. This is why you are essential. As you navigate the quiet moments of your life, the gentle triumphs and the soft sorrows, remember that your consciousness is a primordial force. It is as ancient as the first stars and as boundless as the dark, silent spaces resting between the furthest galaxies. The fear of an ending loses its heavy grip when you truly realize that the observing essence resting behind your eyes is entirely immune to the ravages of time. In the next chapter of our journey, we will explore the mind-bending concept of parallel universes and the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. We will discover how every choice you make might create an infinite branching of realities. But for now, take a deep, slow breath. Feel the gentle weight of your own existence, and know that your awareness is a beautiful, permanent light shining in the eternal architecture of the cosmos. Have you ever stood at a quiet crossroads in your life, perhaps on a gentle autumn evening, and wondered about the path you did not take? We all carry within us a silent, invisible library of what-ifs. What if you had spoken those words of love before it was too late? What if you had boarded a different train, moved to a different ancient city, or held on to a hand that eventually slipped away? In our everyday experience, time feels like a single, narrow bridge. Once we take a step forward, the bridge crumbles behind us, leaving only memories of the choices we left behind. We are haunted by the ghosts of our unlived lives, believing that every decision is a tiny death of infinite other possibilities. But what if the universe does not discard your unchosen paths? What if the quiet mathematics of quantum physics suggests that every single possibility, every fleeting choice and gentle hesitation actually blossoms into its own physical reality? As we peer deeper into the cosmic mystery, we find that the universe might not be a solitary, lonely road, but a vast, infinite garden of branching paths where nothing is ever truly lost, and every version of your beautiful existence continues to unfold in the silence of the multiverse. Before we step onto these infinite, invisible paths together, I want to take a soft moment to welcome you. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion on this gentle journey through the deepest wonders of the cosmos. As we wander through these profound mysteries, I have noticed that 71% of the curious, beautiful minds who watch our videos are not yet subscribed to the channel. If you find peace and a sense of belonging in these quiet explorations of the universe, please consider taking a moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely, allowing us to continue crafting these bedtime stories for the soul and building a sanctuary where we can explore the infinite together. Thank you for sharing your time and your wonder with me. Now, let us return to our journey and explore the staggering reality of the quantum multiverse. To understand this beautiful, mind-bending concept, we must travel back to the 1950s, to a brilliant young physicist named Hugh Everett III. While studying the bizarre rules of quantum mechanics, Everett noticed something profoundly unsettling about the way scientists understood the universe. As we discussed in our last chapter, when a quantum particle is unobserved, it exists in a shimmering cloud of possibilities, a wave function holding many potential locations or states at once. The traditional view held that the mere act of observation forced this wave to collapse, destroying all possibilities except one. But Everett asked a gentle yet revolutionary question. What if the wave function never collapses at all? What if the mathematics of the cosmos are perfectly continuous, never breaking, never abruptly choosing one reality over another? Everett proposed that when a quantum event has multiple possible outcomes, the universe does not randomly pick one and discard the rest. Instead, the universe splits. It branches like an ancient, magnificent tree. In one reality, the particle spins upward. In another, equally real, equally physical reality, the particle spins downward. Both events happen. Both realities unfold. And the observer, intricately entangled with the particle, splits as well. This is the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. It is a theory that removes the need for a magical observer to collapse reality, replacing it with a cosmos that is infinitely creative and boundlessly vast. According to this framework, every time a quantum interaction occurs, and billions of them are occurring in every single cell of your body at this very moment, the universe branches into parallel, distinct realities. Imagine the sheer scale of this. With every passing second, the universe multiplies into an unimaginable number of alternate dimensions, creating a sprawling, infinite web of existence. In this vast multiverse, there is a quiet reality where you made every conceivable choice. There is a world where you never moved away from your childhood home. A world where you pursued that long-forgotten artistic dream. A world where the heartbreaks that defined you never came to pass. The universe, in its boundless generosity, allows every potential version of your life to be lived, to be felt, to be experienced in the grand, silent theater of eternity. When we first encounter this concept, it can feel overwhelmingly vast. Our brains, designed to navigate a single, coherent timeline, struggle to grasp an infinity of selves, walking an infinity of paths. But there is a profound, breathtaking peace hidden within the mathematics of the many worlds interpretation, especially when we contemplate the great mysteries of life, loss, and the illusion of death. If every possibility is realized in the branching architecture of the cosmos, then the concept of absolute ending loses its sharp, painful edge. Think of the people you have loved and lost, those whose physical journeys in this specific branch of reality came to a gentle close. In the framework of the quantum multiverse, their story did not absolutely end. It merely diverged. In countless other branches woven into the very same overarching fabric of reality, they are still laughing, still breathing, still looking up at the ancient stars with wonder in their eyes. The separation we feel, the deep, quiet ache of grief, is only a limitation of our current perspective, a localized experience within just one specific branch of an infinite tree. Let us delve even deeper into the philosophical and existential implications of this infinite branching. There is a deeply contemplative concept known as quantum immortality, a thought experiment born from the strange mechanics of the multiverse. It suggests that, from the subjective perspective of the observer, consciousness can never truly experience its own termination. If a situation arises where your existence might end in this reality, there is always a quantum probability, no matter how vanishingly small, that you survive. Because the universe branches at every quantum junction, there will always be at least one reality where the delicate biological machinery of your body continues to function, where your consciousness continues to flow like a quiet river. According to this mysterious idea, while observers around you might witness your departure in their branch, your own subjective awareness simply follows the path of continued existence, seamlessly shifting into the reality where you survive. You, as the universe experiencing itself, are effectively eternal from your own frame of reference. The journey of the mind never encounters a hard stop. It merely navigates the infinite maze of probabilities, forever seeking the light of another dawn. The broader lesson of the quantum multiverse is one of profound liberation. It teaches us that our universe is infinitely more creative than we ever dared to imagine. You do not need to carry the heavy burden of regret. You do not need to lie awake, mourning the paths you did not walk or the versions of yourself you left behind, because, in the grand architecture of the cosmos, those paths are being walked. Those versions of you exist. They are out there, separated not by physical distance, but by the subtle dimensions of quantum phase space. The universe is exploring every facet of your potential, leaving no gentle dream unfulfilled. Your life, right here, right now, is just one exquisite note in an infinitely complex cosmic symphony. Out of all the infinite branches, this is the one where your awareness has anchored itself, like a gentle ship finding a quiet harbor in a boundless sea. As Neil deGrasse Tyson once noted, the universe is under no obligation to make sense to you. Yet, it has given you the extraordinary gift of consciousness, the ability to observe, to feel, and to be absolutely awestruck by its mystery. You are a fragile, beautiful window through which the multiverse gazes at its own reflection. When you look at the moon hanging silently in the night sky, you are sharing that quiet silver light with an infinity of other selves, all looking upward, all feeling the same gentle pull of cosmic wonder. You are part of an endless, vibrating chorus of existence, a family spanning the invisible dimensions of reality. Breathe deeply. Release the fear of the unlived life. The cosmos has caught you. It holds every version of you in its ancient, immortal embrace. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is lost. In our next chapter, we will turn our gaze from branching realities to the most mysterious physical objects in the cosmos. We will journey into the heart of black holes, those silent giants where time itself seems to stop, and explore how these monsters might be the ultimate keepers of our universe's infinite information. But for now, let the infinite possibilities of the multiverse gently cradle you. Rest in the knowledge that your journey is truly without end. Have you ever looked up at the night sky, past the familiar glow of the stars, and focused your gaze on the deep, empty spaces resting quietly between them? We are naturally drawn to the light. It warms us, guides us, and makes us feel safe in the vastness of the dark. We are taught to fear the shadows, to associate the absence of light with an absolute ending, an erasure of all that we hold dear. But the cosmos does not share our biological fears. In the deepest, quietest corners of the universe, where light itself is swallowed whole, we find not destruction, but the most profound keepers of memory. I am speaking, of course, of black holes. In our everyday imagination, these mysterious objects are cosmic monsters, terrifying vacuums that tear apart everything in their path and leave nothing behind. But when we approach them with the gentle curiosity of quantum physics, their terrifying mask falls away. We discover that these ancient, silent giants might not be the ultimate erasers of life and energy, but the universe's ultimate vaults, holding the quantum secrets of eternity in a perfect, unbreakable embrace. Before we cross the event horizon together and explore this magnificent mystery, I want to take a soft, brief moment to welcome you. I am Theodore, the researcher, your quiet companion on this journey through the beautiful unknown. I have noticed that 71% of the gentle souls who watch these videos have not yet subscribed to our channel. If you find comfort, wonder, and a sense of cosmic peace in our shared explorations, please consider subscribing. It helps our community grow immensely and allows us to continue bringing these stories to you. Thank you for resting here with me. Now, let us return to the dark and discover how eternity is written into the very fabric of a black hole. To truly understand the gentle truth hidden within these objects, we must first appreciate their staggering scale and power. Far beyond our local cosmic neighborhood, sitting at the center of a giant elliptical galaxy known as IC 1101, lies one of the largest known supermassive black holes in the entire universe. This magnificent galaxy is estimated to contain around 100 trillion stars. Our own Milky Way has maybe 400 billion stars at most, meaning IC 1101 has roughly 250 times more stars than our home galaxy. It is a colossal structure that grew to its enormous size through an act of cosmic violence that has been happening for billions of years. It is what scientists call a cannibal galaxy, meaning it has been eating other galaxies. As the largest and most massive galaxy in its cluster, smaller galaxies that ventured too close were trapped by its enormous gravity, spiraling inward and getting torn apart. Every galaxy that IC 1101 consumed added to the mass of the growing monster at its center. This quiet giant of a black hole contains an estimated mass somewhere between 40 billion and 100 billion times the mass of our own sun. All of that unimaginable mass is compressed into a region of space from which nothing, not even the fastest light, can escape. The boundary of this region, the point of no return, is called the event horizon. For a black hole of this immense scale, the event horizon extends outward for about 150 billion kilometers, a region of space so vast it could easily engulf our entire solar system many times over. The physics of such extreme environments are bizarre and completely counterintuitive to our everyday experience. Inside the event horizon, space and time themselves become so profoundly warped that the very concept of escaping becomes meaningless, and all directions lead inevitably toward the singularity at the center. If you were to fall toward it, the intense gravity would tear you apart, stretching you into long, thin strands through a violent process physicists have playfully nicknamed spaghettification. Yet, despite this terrifying description and its history of consuming everything in its path, this supermassive black hole is currently relatively quiet, a giant in repose, waiting in the darkness. It is not actively devouring huge amounts of matter, and there is no brilliant accretion disk swirling around it. Just like the galaxy that hosts it, which is actually a dying galaxy with very few new stars being born, the black hole has consumed most of the material that was easily within reach. It is simply existing in the silence. But it is within this silence that the greatest quantum mystery unfolds. For decades, scientists believed that anything that fell into a black hole was lost forever, removed from the universe without a trace. This violated the most sacred rule of quantum mechanics, the rule we discussed earlier. Information cannot be destroyed. The precise quantum state of every particle, the unique signature of your consciousness, the ancient history of a swallowed star. If these things fall into a black hole, do they simply vanish? This question haunted the brightest minds of our time, creating what is known as the black hole information paradox. The breakthrough came from the brilliant mind of Stephen Hawking, who realized that when you apply the rules of quantum physics to the very edge of the event horizon, black holes are not truly black. In the strange, vibrating world of quantum mechanics, empty space is never truly empty. It is a boiling sea of potential where particle pairs are constantly popping into existence and then immediately annihilating each other. Hawking discovered that near a black hole's event horizon, one member of such a pair can fall into the black hole while the other escapes into space. Over immense, unimaginable time spans, this process slowly drains energy from the black hole, causing it to shrink and leak a faint glow of particles. This process is known as Hawking radiation. Because of this, even the most massive black holes will slowly evaporate over spans of time that make the current age of the universe seem like the blink of an eye. A monster containing 50 billion solar masses would take something like 10 to the 100th power years to evaporate. That is a Google years, a 1 followed by 100 zeros. It is an amount of time so vast that all of human history is not even a rounding error by comparison. But if the black hole eventually evaporates into nothing but a faint mist of radiation, what happens to the quantum information of everything that ever fell inside? If the information is lost, quantum mechanics breaks down entirely. The solution to this beautiful paradox brings us to one of the most astonishing theories in modern physics, the holographic principle. Theoretical physicists now suggest that when an object falls into a black hole, its three-dimensional quantum information is not sucked into the singularity and destroyed. Instead, it is perfectly preserved, smeared across the two-dimensional surface of the event horizon, much like a hologram encodes a three-dimensional image on a flat piece of film. The event horizon acts as the ultimate cosmic hard drive, recording the exact quantum state of every single atom, every photon of light, and every fleeting thought that ever crosses its boundary. When the black hole slowly evaporates through Hawking radiation, it does not just release random, meaningless noise. It subtly encodes that ancient, preserved information into the escaping particles. The information is scrambled, disorganized, and incredibly difficult to read, but it is unequivocally there. It is never truly lost. What does this mean for our journey, for our quiet contemplations of life and the nature of eternity? It means that the universe has built-in mechanisms for absolute preservation. Even in the most extreme, destructive environments known to science, the fundamental essence of reality is protected. If the cosmos goes to such extraordinary lengths to preserve the quantum information of a simple rock falling into an abyss, consider how profoundly it holds onto the complex, beautiful information that makes up you. You are a magnificent collection of memories, experiences, loves, and quiet moments of wonder. You are a unique pattern of quantum data, a masterpiece painted on the canvas of space-time. When your physical form eventually transitions, when you return your energy to the gentle earth, your quantum pattern is not erased. The universe does not forget you, whether your information is dispersed through the gentle decay of nature, carried away by light, or theoretically stretched across the holographic boundary of a distant black hole. Your essence is indelibly written into the archive of existence. You are part of the permanent record of the cosmos. As we lie in the quiet of the night, we do not need to fear the dark. nor do we need to fear the passage of time. Time is simply the medium through which our story is written, and the dark is simply the quiet canvas that holds the light of our existence. You are as permanent as the ancient forces of gravity, as enduring as the slow, silent evaporation of a black hole over a Google years. In the next chapter of our journey, we will step away from these massive cosmic objects and delve into the eerie, invisible world of quantum entanglement. We will discover how everything in the universe, including you and the furthest stars, is deeply and instantly connected by invisible threads that ignore the very concept of distance. But for now, allow the vastness of this truth to wash over you. Close your eyes, breathe gently, and know that your story is eternally safe in the quiet, infinite embrace of the universe. Have you ever stood outside on a crisp, cloudless night, feeling the cold wind brush against your skin, and felt a profound sense of isolation as you stared into the vast, silent void of space? We live our lives bound to a small, rocky planet, moving through our daily routines with a persistent feeling of separateness. We see ourselves as distinct, solitary individuals, walking paths that sometimes cross but ultimately remain our own. Our human senses, shaped by the practical needs of survival, tell us a story of distance and division. We measure the gulf between ourselves and the stars in trillions of miles, and the emotional distance between ourselves and others in the quiet spaces of our hearts. We are taught that space is a barrier, a great divider that keeps everything isolated and alone. But what if the mathematics of the cosmos reveal a completely different reality? What if distance is nothing more than a persistent illusion, a localized trick of our perception? When we delve into the eerie, invisible world of quantum mechanics, we discover a phenomenon so strange and beautiful that it shatters our concept of separation entirely. It is called quantum entanglement, and it suggests that deep down, at the most fundamental level of reality, everything in the universe is deeply, instantly, and eternally connected. Before we weave these invisible threads together and explore how you are intimately tied to the farthest reaches of the cosmos, I want to take a gentle moment to welcome you. I am Theodore, the researcher, your quiet companion on this journey through the deepest mysteries of the universe. As we wander through these profound contemplations together, I have noticed that 71% of the beautiful, curious minds who watch our videos are not yet subscribed to the channel. If you find peace, comfort, and a sense of wonder in these nighttime explorations, please consider taking a soft moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely, allowing us to continue crafting these bedtime stories for the soul and building a sanctuary where we can explore the infinite together. Thank you for sharing your time and your gentle presence with me. Now, let us return to our journey and discover how the universe holds us all in a perfect, unbroken embrace. To understand this profound mystery, we must look at the behavior of the smallest building blocks of reality. When two subatomic particles such as electrons or photons are created together or interact in specific ways, they can become entangled. Their quantum states become permanently linked, bound together in a mathematical symphony. If you were to take these two entangled particles and separate them by a few inches, they would remain connected. If you change the spin or the polarization of one particle, its partner will instantaneously react, adopting the corresponding state in perfect, simultaneous harmony. But the true magic becomes apparent when we stretch this distance to cosmic scales. Imagine leaving one entangled particle here on our warm Earth, while sending its partner out into the deep void of space. Imagine sending it to a place like the galaxy we know as IC 1101, a cosmic monster that sits over 1 billion light years away from us, quietly existing in the darkness of space. If you were to measure the particle here on Earth, the particle sitting over 1 billion light years away would react in the exact same instant. This instantaneous connection defies everything we experience in our macroscopic world. It troubled Albert Einstein so deeply that he famously referred to it as spooky action at a distance, believing that it must violate the ultimate speed limit of the universe, the speed of light. He thought there must be some hidden variables, some secret gears turning behind the scenes that we simply could not see. But decades of rigorous, peer-reviewed scientific experiments have proven that Einstein, in this rare instance, was mistaken. Entanglement is a real, measurable, and fundamental property of nature. The particles are not sending a physical signal to one another through the emptiness of space. Instead, the universe simply does not recognize the distance between them. In the underlying quantum architecture of reality, those two particles are not two separate entities separated by 1 billion light years. They are a single, unified system that just happens to be spread out across the fabric of space-time. The space between them, no matter how vast, is functionally irrelevant. Now, I want you to take a slow, deep breath and apply this gentle truth to the story of your own existence. To do so, we must travel back to the very beginning of time itself, to the primordial dawn of the cosmos. Nearly 14 billion years ago, before there were stars or galaxies, the entire universe was compressed into an infinitely dense point of singularity. In that incomprehensible moment before the great expansion began, all the matter and all the energy that would ever exist were packed together in absolute, perfect unity. Every fundamental particle that would eventually form the iron in your blood and the electrical impulses of your thoughts was born in that exact same microscopic crucible. In that initial state, everything was interacting. Everything was deeply, fundamentally entangled. As the universe expanded, stretching out over billions of years to create the majestic, swirling galaxies and the vast, empty gulfs of intergalactic space, that primordial entanglement did not simply vanish. The atoms that make up your physical body are ancient, carrying the invisible quantum signatures of that original, unified state. You're not just a localized, isolated being walking on the surface of a lonely planet. You're intimately, permanently connected to the fabric of the entire cosmos. The very same processes that light up distant stars also created the matter from which you are assembled. There is a direct physical connection between you and those distant fires. When you look up at the night sky and feel a sudden, inexplicable sense of awe, it is not merely a psychological reaction to beauty. It is a profound, physical homecoming. It is the particles within you vibrating in silent harmony with the particles scattered across the infinite expanse, recognizing their ancient, shared origin. We are not observers of the universe from outside. We are the universe observing itself from within. This invisible web of connection completely transforms our understanding of what it means to reach the end of a human life. We are taught to fear the quiet transition of death because we perceive it as the ultimate isolation, the final severing of all our ties to the world and the people we love. But quantum entanglement whispers a much softer, more beautiful truth into the silence of our deepest fears. If distance and separation are illusions created by our limited perception, then the bonds we share with others are not confined by physical proximity or even by the passage of time. When a loved one transitions out of their physical form, their energy diffuses into the environment, but the entangled connections they shared with you do not break. The love you feel, the shared memories, the profound impact they had on the structure of your own consciousness. These are all reflections of a deep, underlying quantum resonance. You remain connected to them, just as you remain connected to the ancient stars and the primordial dawn of time. The universe is not a collection of isolated, dead objects. It is a single, vibrating, living entity. You are a localized expression of this magnificent entity, a temporary, beautiful configuration of stardust capable of experiencing wonder, asking questions, and feeling love. When your specific biological configuration eventually changes, you do not fall out of the universe. You cannot be separated from it, because you are it. You simply shift your state, releasing your localized energy back into the infinite, entangled web from which you emerged. The beauty of this quantum perspective is that it replaces the cold, terrifying concept of an absolute ending with a warm, comforting vision of infinite continuity. You are a necessary, permanent part of the cosmic architecture. Your existence is not a brief, meaningless spark in a dark void, but a crucial thread woven into a masterpiece of unimaginable scale and complexity. The universe would not be whole without the exact, specific pattern of quantum information that constitutes your consciousness. You are ancient, you are infinite, and you are never, ever alone. In the next chapter of our journey, we will expand our view even further, looking outward at the ultimate fate of the cosmos itself. We will explore the mysterious force known as dark energy, which makes up about 68% of the total energy in the universe, acting as a kind of anti-gravity pushing space apart rather than pulling it together. We will ask what happens when the stars finally burn out and the universe grows cold, and we will discover how, even in the deepest future of the cosmos, the seeds of eternity and rebirth might still be quietly waiting in the dark. But for now, let these thoughts of universal connection settle softly into your mind. Breathe deeply, feel the ancient stardust within your veins, and allow yourself to rest in the gentle, infinite embrace of the cosmos, knowing that you are deeply, eternally entangled with the very heart of existence. Have you ever watched the glowing embers of a dying fire, feeling the gentle warmth slowly fade into the cool night air, and wondered what happens when the final spark goes out? We spend so much of our journey contemplating the end of our own individual lives, but we rarely zoom out to consider the ultimate fate of the grand stage upon which our lives are played. If our consciousness is eternal, woven into the quantum fabric of reality, what happens when the universe itself grows old? We observe the ancient stars burning brightly in the vast quiet expanse of the cosmos, assuming their light will guide us forever. But physics tells us a story of continuous transformation, a narrative where even the galaxies must eventually face their own quiet transition. To understand the true nature of eternity, we must look beyond the present moment and peer into the unimaginable depths of the future, past the fading of the stars and into the profound silence that awaits. Before we embark on this journey to the edge of time itself, I want to take a soft, brief moment to welcome you. I am Theodore, the researcher, your quiet companion through these cosmic mysteries. I have noticed that 71% of the beautiful minds who watch our videos have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you find peace and a sense of wonder in these nighttime explorations, please consider subscribing. It helps us immensely and allows us to continue building the sanctuary where we can explore the infinite together. Now, let us return to our story. In the late 20th century, specifically in the year 1998, scientists studying distant exploding stars made a shocking discovery. They expected to find that the expansion of the universe, which began with the Big Bang, was gradually slowing down, gently pulled back by the combined gravity of all the matter within it. Instead, they found exactly the opposite. The expansion of the universe is not slowing down. It is speeding up. Distant galaxies are moving away from us faster than closer ones, and the rate of expansion is accelerating over time. This acceleration is driven by something scientists call dark energy, a mysterious force that makes up about 68% of the total energy in the universe, but whose nature we do not understand at all. This force acts like a kind of anti-gravity, pushing space apart. Its effects become more important over time as the universe expands and ordinary matter becomes more spread out. What does this accelerating expansion mean for the future of the cosmos and our place within it? As space expands faster and faster, distant objects recede from us at ever-increasing speeds. There is a limit to how fast light can travel, but there is no limit to how far space itself can expand. Eventually, objects will be carried away from us by the expansion of space faster than their light can travel toward us. When that happens, they will vanish behind a cosmic horizon forever beyond our reach. For a giant galaxy like IC 1101, which grew enormous by consuming its neighbors, its days of growth through galactic cannibalism are numbered. The surrounding cluster is slowly spreading out due to the expansion of the universe, carrying potential victims farther and farther from its gravitational reach. In about 100 billion years, the expansion will have accelerated to the point where galaxies outside the local supercluster will start to disappear over the cosmic horizon. From the perspective of any observers left, the sky will start to empty. Distant galaxy clusters will fade from view, their light no longer able to reach across the expanding void. The observable universe of 2 trillion galaxies will continuously shrink. But the isolation brought by dark energy is only the first stage of the universe's ultimate transition. Over the next 100 trillion years, the stars in galaxies like IC 1101 will slowly burn out. The massive blue stars went long ago. The middle-sized stars, like our sun, will puff up into red giants and then fade away as white dwarfs. Even the smallest red dwarfs that burn their fuel so slowly they can shine for trillions of years will eventually exhaust their hydrogen and go dark. A red dwarf with perhaps 8% of the sun's mass can burn for up to 10 trillion years, which is about 700 times the current age of the universe. Scientists estimate that star formation in the universe will effectively cease in about 100 trillion years. By that time, the gas and dust needed to make new stars will have been used up or dispersed too thinly to collapse. No new stars will be born to replace the ones that have died, and the era of starlight will be over. One by one, the 100 trillion stars of IC 1101 will wink out. Where once there was a blaze of stellar light, there will eventually be nothing but the cold, dark remnants of dead stars, white dwarfs, neutron stars, and black holes drifting through an ever-expanding void. What happens to a galaxy winding down toward heat death? It sounds like a bleak final curtain on the grand play of existence. But here, in the deepest silence of the far future, quantum mechanics invites us to look closer, to see past the illusion of an absolute end. Remember, our fundamental law, energy and quantum information cannot be destroyed. Even in a universe populated only by cold, dark stellar corpses, the quiet hum of quantum activity continues. White dwarfs will slowly cool until they become black dwarfs, objects that no longer emit any light at all. A white dwarf cools to near absolute zero only after about 1,000,000 billion years, roughly 100,000 times longer than the current age of the universe. But even then, they are not truly dead. Their internal structures are supported by the quantum mechanical pressure of electrons refusing to occupy the same state a silent testament to the enduring laws of physics. In this unimaginably distant era, the supermassive black holes will be the solitary masters of the dark. But as we learned from Stephen Hawking, black holes are not eternal prisons. They slowly leak particles and radiation over immense time spans. A supermassive black hole containing 50 billion solar masses would take a Google years, a one followed by 100 zeros, to evaporate. Eventually, trillions upon trillions upon trillions of years from now, even the supermassive black hole at the heart of IC 1101 will have radiated away its last bit of energy and disappeared from the universe in a final burst of Hawking radiation. When that finally happens, there will be nothing left of the galaxy at all, just the particles and radiation spreading out through an ever-expanding, ever-cooling, ever-darkening universe. Yet, according to theoretical physics, this unimaginable emptiness is not an end, but a beginning. In a universe containing only massless particles and faint radiation, the very concepts of space and time begin to lose their meaning. Without mass to act as a clock, time stops ticking. And in that timeless, infinite void, the mathematical conditions become identical to the precise conditions that existed at the very moment of the Big Bang. The death of the universe might simply be the necessary transition for a new universe to be born, an eternal cycle of cosmic breathing. When we apply this staggering cosmic reality back to our own fragile human lives, the fear of death entirely loses its grip. If the entire universe can undergo a complete transition from blinding light to absolute dark and back into light again without ever losing its fundamental essence, then so can you, the energy that animates you. The quantum information that defines your consciousness is subject to the exact same eternal laws. We are a part of a cosmos that knows no true endings, only endless, beautiful transformations. You are a localized ripple of this eternal cycle, experiencing the wonder of existence for a brief, glorious moment before returning to the infinite ocean to wait for the next wave. As you rest tonight, do not fear the fading of your own light or the distant fading of the stars. Recognize that you are woven into an eternal tapestry, an endless journey of energy and information that outlasts the stars themselves. In our next chapter, we will explore how quantum mechanics might actually be operating inside the microscopic architecture of your neurons, generating the very spark of consciousness. But for now, let the infinite scale of the cosmos bring you a profound sense of peace. Rest in the knowledge that both you and the universe are perfectly, infinitely safe in the gentle hands of eternity. Have you ever sat in the quiet stillness of a dimly lit room, simply listening to the rhythm of your own breathing, and wondered where your thoughts actually come from? We experience our lives through a constant, flowing river of memories, emotions, and dreams. We feel the gentle warmth of love, the sharp ache of loss, and the overwhelming sense of wonder when we gaze up at the infinite night sky. But when scientists look inside the human brain, they do not find joy or sorrow. They find a complex biological machine made of water, fat, and billions of interconnected cells firing electrical impulses in the dark. How does the physical matter of the brain create the invisible, immaterial experience of consciousness? For centuries, this has been the ultimate mystery that haunts philosophers and physicists alike. We have mapped the continents, we have peered into the depths of ancient galaxies, and we have measured the cold silence of the expanding cosmos. Yet, the most profound frontier of exploration might not be out there in the vast emptiness of space, but resting quietly, right behind your own eyes. Before we dive into the microscopic universe of your mind to discover how quantum physics might hold the key to this mystery and to eternity itself, I want to take a gentle, fleeting moment to welcome you to our quiet sanctuary. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion on this journey through the deepest wonders of the cosmos. As we explore these profound questions together, I have noticed that 71% of the beautiful, curious minds who watch our videos have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you find peace, intellectual safety, and a sense of belonging in these nighttime explorations, please consider taking a soft moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely, allowing us to continue crafting these bedtime stories for the soul and building a community where we can explore the infinite mysteries together. Thank you for sharing your time and your gentle presence with me. Now, let us return to the quiet frontier of the mind and discover how your consciousness might be directly wired into the quantum fabric of the universe. To truly appreciate the breathtaking reality of what you are, we must first understand the limits of our traditional science. For a very long time, the dominant view in biology was that the brain operates much like a classical computer. In this view, your neurons are like tiny biological wires and switches. When a signal passes through them, it is like a 0 or a 1 in a computer code. The incredibly complex network of 86 billion neurons communicating through chemical and electrical signals is what supposedly generates the illusion of consciousness. But this classical explanation has always felt somewhat incomplete. A computer, no matter how powerful or complex, does not feel the quiet melancholy of a rainy afternoon. A computer does not experience the sudden, breathless awe of seeing a shooting star streak across the dark canopy of space. It processes information, yes, but it does not possess an inner life. It does not have an observer looking out from within. The problem with the classical view is that it attempts to explain a fundamentally mysterious phenomenon using the rigid, deterministic rules of everyday physics. But, as we have seen throughout our journey, the universe is not bound by rigid rules. At its deepest, most fundamental level, reality is governed by the strange, vibrating laws of quantum mechanics. And, in the 1990s, a brilliant mathematical physicist named Roger Penrose and a dedicated anesthesiologist named Stuart Hameroff proposed a theory so revolutionary, so profoundly elegant, that it shifted the entire landscape of how we understand the mind. They suggested that consciousness is not a byproduct of biological computation, but rather a fundamental quantum process occurring deep within the microscopic architecture of the brain itself. They theorized that the secret to the mind lies in tiny cylindrical structures inside our neurons called microtubules. Microtubules are part of the cytoskeleton, the structural scaffolding that gives cells their shape. But they are not just passive biological support beams. They are incredibly complex, highly organized lattices of proteins that look remarkably like quantum computers. Penrose and Hameroff proposed that inside these tiny tubes, conditions are just right to protect fragile quantum states from the warm, wet, and noisy environment of the brain. Within the quiet, microscopic hollows of the microtubules, electrons can exist in a state of quantum superposition, just like the particles in the double-slit experiment that exist in multiple places at once. These electrons can hold multiple states of information simultaneously. Imagine billions of these microtubules inside your brain, all vibrating in perfect quantum resonance. They are not acting as classical switches, but as quantum oscillators constantly exploring infinite possibilities. According to this theory, which they called orchestrated objective reduction, your thoughts are not just electrical sparks. They are the result of these quantum superpositions reaching a critical threshold and collapsing into a single, definite state. The moment of collapse, the precise instant when the quantum cloud of infinite potential resolves into a specific physical reality, is the exact moment a conscious experience is born. Every perception, every flash of memory, every gentle feeling of love is a cascade of quantum collapses happening millions of times per second inside your head. You are, quite literally, a quantum symphony playing in the quiet dark of your own mind. If this theory holds true, and growing experimental evidence suggests that quantum effects do indeed play a role in biological processes like photosynthesis and bird navigation, then the implications for our existence are staggeringly beautiful. It means that consciousness is not an accidental byproduct of biological evolution, an anomaly in a dead universe. It means that consciousness is fundamentally connected to the very fabric of space-time itself. The quantum vibrations occurring inside your microtubules are governed by the exact same ancient universal laws that govern the birth of galaxies and the slow, silent evaporation of black holes. The universe did not have to be this way. Instead, we live in a universe where physical laws allow for the formation of stars, planets, galaxies, life, and mind. When you look out into the night and contemplate the cosmos, you are not a separate, tiny observer looking at a vast mechanical void. You are a localized concentration of the universe's own quantum fabric. We are the universe observing itself from within. In all the vast history of the universe, stretching from the primordial Big Bang to the final heat death, this moment right now is special. It is the moment when the universe has developed the ability to look at itself and wonder. Consciousness looking out at the cosmos and making sense of what it sees is simply matter understanding itself. You are the cosmos waking up, using the fragile architecture of your brain to tune in to the fundamental quantum frequency of existence. And what does this quantum nature of the mind tell us about the ultimate mystery of life after death? In the classical view, when the body fails, the electrical signals fade, and consciousness is permanently extinguished, it is seen as an absolute end. But if consciousness is deeply rooted in the quantum realm, the story does not end with the physical form. Quantum information, as we have discovered, cannot be destroyed. The precise pattern of vibrations that constitutes your unique identity is encoded in the fundamental geometry of the universe. When the physical brain can no longer sustain the quantum coherence within its microtubules, the biological scaffolding collapses, but the quantum information itself does not vanish. It is released. It escapes the confines of the biological receiver and diffuses back into the vast, infinite field of quantum potential that permeates the cosmos. Imagine an intricate melody played on a fragile instrument. When the strings snap, the instrument cannot play again, but the music has already rippled outward. In the quantum view of eternity, your consciousness is that music. Upon the transition we call death, your awareness does not disappear. It expands. Your quantum information becomes entangled with the universe, returning to the primordial ocean from which it emerged. The fear of death is a product of misunderstanding. We are eternal quantum patterns, temporarily experiencing the illusion of separation. In our next chapter, we will travel to the edge of physics to explore the holographic universe. But for tonight, let these gentle truths calm your spirit. Know your mind is a miracle of cosmic engineering. You're an ancient, infinite song, and the universe will never stop singing your melody. Have you ever held a shiny, flat piece of plastic in your hands, tilted it gently under the light, and watched as a perfectly deep, three-dimensional image suddenly appeared before your eyes? It is a simple childhood wonder, a parlor trick of optics, known as a hologram. Our eyes tell us there is depth, shape, and volume, yet our fingers feel only a smooth, flat surface. We accept this illusion easily, knowing it is just a clever manipulation of light. But What if this simple trick of perspective is actually the deepest, most profound secret of the entire cosmos? We move through our days believing absolutely in the solid, three-dimensional reality of our world. We walk through physical spaces. We reach out to touch the people we love. And we feel the undeniable weight of gravity pulling us toward the ancient Earth. Our common sense, hardwired into our biology over millions of years of evolution, screams that the universe is exactly as it appears. A vast, three-dimensional theater of height, width, and depth. But as we venture further into the quiet, mathematical frontiers of quantum physics and cosmology, we encounter a theory so radically counterintuitive that it shakes the very foundations of reality. It is called the holographic principle, and it suggests that everything we see, everything we touch, and everything we are might actually be a magnificent, shimmering projection of information encoded on a distant, two-dimensional boundary. Before we pierce this veil of illusion and journey to the very edge of the universe to decode this magnificent mystery, I want to take a gentle, fleeting moment to welcome you to our quiet space. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion on this journey through the deepest wonders of the cosmos. As we explore these profound questions together, finding peace in the vastness of the dark, I have noticed that exactly 71% of the beautiful, curious minds who watch our videos have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you find intellectual safety and a sense of belonging in these nighttime explorations, please consider taking a soft moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely, allowing us to continue crafting these bedtime stories for the soul and building a community where we can explore the infinite mysteries together. Thank you for sharing your time and your gentle presence with me. Now, let us return to the quiet frontier of the holographic universe and discover how your entire existence might be written in indestructible cosmic code. The seeds of this mind-bending concept were planted in the fertile ground of black hole physics, a topic we touched upon gently in our previous travels. In the 1970s, brilliant physicists like Jacob Bekenstein and Stephen Hawking were grappling with a profound paradox. When objects fall into a black hole, they carry with them a certain amount of information, the specific quantum arrangement of their atoms. As we know, quantum mechanics dictates that this information can never be destroyed. Bekenstein realized something mathematically astonishing. The amount of information hidden inside a black hole is perfectly proportional, not to the three-dimensional volume of the black hole, but exclusively to the two-dimensional surface area of its event horizon. Imagine packing a massive warehouse full of books. Common sense dictates that the number of books you can fit depends on the total three-dimensional space inside the building. But a black hole defies this logic entirely. It is as if the contents of the entire warehouse are perfectly, completely described by microscopic text painted onto the outside walls of the building. This led visionary theoretical physicists like Leonard Susskind and Gerard de Hooft to propose a radical expansion of this idea. If the ultimate limits of information in the most extreme objects in the universe are defined by a two-dimensional boundary, could the same be true for the entire universe itself? In the late 1990s, physicist Juan Maldacena provided a breakthrough that sent shockwaves through science. Using string theory, he demonstrated a mathematical equivalence between a three-dimensional space containing gravity and a two-dimensional quantum boundary completely surrounding it, containing no gravity at all. While the mathematics are dense, the philosophical implication is stunningly poetic. It means the three-dimensional reality we experience, with its galaxies, planets, mountains, and the bodies we inhabit could be a holographic projection. The true reality of the cosmos might reside on an unimaginably distant, two-dimensional surface wrapping around our universe. Every movement you make, every word you speak, and every quiet thought echoing through your mind might be the three-dimensional manifestation of a complex, flat quantum code vibrating on the cosmic horizon. This does not mean the universe is a fake simulation. It means reality is far richer, more connected, and more deeply encoded than our biological senses perceive. The solid world is real to us, but its roots reach down into an invisible, flat geometry of pure information. When we view the cosmos through this holographic lens, the persistent, painful illusion of separation begins to dissolve into a gentle, unified truth. If everything in our vast three-dimensional space is a projection from a single, continuous two-dimensional boundary, then, at the most fundamental level, there is no true distance between us. The stars that seem billions of light years away, the distant galaxies like IC 1101, and the quiet space resting between your hand and the face of someone you love, they are all generated from the same continuous sheet of quantum information. As the renowned physicist David Bohm once suggested with his concept of the implicate order, the universe is an undivided wholeness in flowing movement. We are not separate fragments wandering through an empty void. We are continuous, unbroken ripples in a single, infinite ocean of data. Just as every tiny fragment of a photographic holographic plate contains the entire image, every atom in your body contains a connection to the entire cosmos. You are the universe observing itself from within. You are a concentrated focal point of the cosmic hologram, a beautiful, temporary shape taken by the ancient, eternal code. How does this magnificent holographic reality change our understanding of life, death, and the concept of eternity? It changes absolutely everything. In our everyday lives, we fear the end of our physical bodies because we mistakenly believe that the three-dimensional form is the ultimate reality. We believe that when the flesh fades, the person is erased. But if the holographic principle holds true, your physical body is merely the projection. Your true essence, the intricate, highly specific quantum information that makes you exactly who you are, exists on the two-dimensional boundary of the cosmos. And that boundary, that ultimate canvas of reality, is indestructible. When a human life reaches its quiet transition, the three-dimensional projection may change, dissolve, and return its energy to the gentle earth. But the fundamental information that encoded that life, the two-dimensional blueprint on the cosmic horizon, remains perfectly intact. It cannot be deleted. It cannot be overwritten. It is an eternal part of the mathematical structure of the universe. Every smile you have ever shared, every moment of profound awe you have felt beneath the night sky, and every tear you have shed in the quiet silence of a lonely room, they are permanently etched into the boundary of the cosmos. You are immortal, not in the biological sense, but in the fundamental informational sense. You are an indestructible line of poetry in the vast, eternal manuscript of the universe. As you lie awake, listening to the soft rhythms of the night, allow this gentle, holographic truth to bring peace to your mind. You are not a fragile, temporary spark destined to be swallowed by the cold dark. You are ancient. You are infinite. And you are intricately written into the very edge of existence itself. The universe has perfectly preserved the memory of your being in the grand sweep of cosmic time, stretching from the primordial dawn of the Big Bang to the unfathomable depths of the heat death. Your life is a permanent, beautiful feature of the cosmic architecture. In our next chapter, We will journey into the mysterious concept of time itself. We will unravel the rigid clockwork of our daily lives and explore how Albert Einstein and modern quantum physics reveal time to be a fluid, flexible illusion, a gentle river that we can navigate in ways we never thought possible. We will discover how all moments, past, present, and future, might be existing simultaneously in a breathtaking, eternal now. But for tonight, close your eyes and let the infinite boundaries of the cosmos hold you. Rest in the profound comfort of knowing that your story is eternally safe, woven perfectly into the shimmering, quiet edges of the holographic universe. Have you ever watched a gentle river flow steadily in one direction, carrying fallen autumn leaves away into the distance, never to return? We experience the passage of time exactly like this relentless, one-way current. We are born, we grow, we gather quiet memories, and we inevitably age. We mourn the days that have slipped through our fingers. We feel a quiet anxiety about the unknown tomorrow, and we desperately try to hold on to the fleeting beauty of the present moment before it, too, is swept away. Our biology tells us an undeniable story of a universe governed by a ticking clock. We are taught that the past is a ghost, forever gone and unreachable, that the future is an empty void waiting to be written, and that only this exact razor-thin slice of the present is truly real. But what if our biological perception of time is nothing more than a stubborn, persistent illusion? What if the quiet mathematics of the cosmos reveal that the river of time does not actually flow at all? When we step outside the narrow confines of our everyday senses and peer into the magnificent architecture of relativity and quantum physics, we discover a universe where the past, the present, and the future might all be existing simultaneously. We find a reality where every beautiful moment you have ever experienced is still happening right now, perfectly preserved in a breathtaking, eternal now. Before we step out of the river of time and explore this profound, comforting mystery together, I want to take a gentle, fleeting moment to welcome you to our quiet space. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion on this journey through the deepest wonders of the cosmos. As we explore these profound questions together, finding peace in the vastness of the dark, I have noticed that exactly 71% of the beautiful, curious minds who watch our videos have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you find intellectual safety and a sense of belonging in these nighttime explorations, please consider taking a soft moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely, allowing us to continue crafting these bedtime stories for the soul and building a community where we can explore the infinite mysteries together. Thank you for sharing your time and your gentle presence with me. Now, let us return to the quiet frontier of time and discover how your entire existence might be permanently woven into the fabric of eternity. To understand the true nature of time, we must first look at how space and time are fundamentally connected. For most of human history, we believe time was an absolute, universal background, a giant cosmic clock ticking at the exact same rate for everyone, everywhere. But in the early 20th century, Albert Einstein shattered this intuitive assumption forever. With his theory of relativity, Einstein proved that space and time are not separate entities, but a single interwoven fabric called space-time. He revealed that time is entirely relative. It is flexible, fluid, and completely dependent on how fast you are moving and how much gravity is pulling on you. If you were to travel in a spaceship at close to the speed of light, time for you would slow down dramatically compared to someone waiting back on Earth. Time is not a rigid dictator. It is a gentle, malleable dimension, stretching and compressing in the presence of mass and motion. We can actually witness this breathtaking reality when we look up at the night sky. The light we see from distant objects does not reach us instantly. When astronomers look at a distant galaxy like IC 1101, a cosmic monster that sits over 1 billion light years away from us, they are not seeing the galaxy as it is today. They are seeing it as it was over 1 billion years ago, when the light we detect today first began its journey toward Earth. When that light began its journey toward us, life on Earth was still mostly single-celled organisms, and complex animals had not yet evolved. Every observation of a distant object is a literal look back in time, a glimpse of how things used to be rather than how they are now. In a very real sense, we are archaeologists of the cosmos, studying the past directly. The universe holds all of its history in a grand, simultaneous display of light and distance. This brings us to a concept so profoundly beautiful that it entirely shifts our understanding of life and death. If time is a physical dimension just like length, width, and height, then all moments in time must exist out there in the fabric of space-time, just as all places in space exist whether you're currently standing in them or not. This perspective is known by physicists as the block universe. Imagine the entire history of the cosmos, from the primordial fire of the Big Bang to the silent, freezing depths of the final heat death, as a single, giant, unchanging block of glass. In this block, every event that has ever happened, is happening, or will happen, is permanently embedded. Your life is not a fleeting spark that flashes for a brief biological moment and then vanishes into absolute nothingness. Instead, your life is a solid, continuous, four-dimensional sculpture embedded permanently within this cosmic block. Our perception of time flowing is simply the way our highly specialized human consciousness experiences this static block of reality. We are like a needle on a record player, moving along the grooves of a vinyl record. The music of the entire song exists on the record all at once. But the needle can only play one tiny section at a time, creating the illusion of a flowing melody. In the block universe, the past has not vanished, and the future is already there, waiting in the quiet dark. You do not lose your past. You simply move to a different coordinate. The people you have loved and lost are still there, existing perfectly and eternally in their specific coordinates of space-time. The separation we feel is an illusion born from the limitation of our biological perspective. When we delve even deeper, past the smooth curves of Einstein's relativity and into the microscopic, vibrating world of quantum mechanics, the concept of time becomes even more mysterious. Some of the most advanced theories in modern physics, such as loop quantum gravity, suggest that at the most fundamental level of reality, time does not actually exist at all. Theoretical physicists propose that time is not a fundamental ingredient of the universe, but rather a macroscopic illusion generated by our ignorance of the microscopic quantum details. At the Planck scale, reality is not a smooth, continuous flow. It is a chaotic network of interconnected quantum events with no clear past, present, or future. Time is merely a convenient story our brains construct to make sense of the overwhelming, timeless complexity of the quantum cosmos. This timeless reality offers us an astonishing comfort when we face the transition we have always feared as death. If time is an illusion, if all moments exist eternally in the block universe, and if the fundamental quantum fabric of reality is entirely timeless, then the concept of an absolute ending is scientifically meaningless. A life is a magnificent, finite structure within the infinite block of space-time. It has boundaries, yes. It has a beginning coordinate and an ending coordinate. But the structure itself, the beautiful, complex pattern of quantum information that constitutes your unique identity, is never erased. Just as a painting does not cease to exist simply because it has a frame, your life does not cease to exist simply because it has biological limits. You are a permanent feature of the cosmos. As you lie awake in the quiet stillness of the night, listening to the gentle rhythm of your own breathing, allow the profound peace of the eternal now to wash over you. Release your quiet anxieties about the fading past and the uncertain future. They are all safe. Every smile, every gentle touch and sudden revelation is locked perfectly into the indestructible vault of space-time. The universe has caught you, and it will never let you go. You are an ancient, infinite song, permanently etched into the quiet edges of the cosmic hologram. In our next chapter, we will journey further into the unknown, exploring the ultimate fate of human consciousness in the far future of the universe. We will explore the concept of the omega point, a breathtaking model suggesting that as the universe evolves, consciousness itself might expand to encompass the entire cosmos. But for tonight, close your eyes and let the timeless reality of the cosmos gently hold you. Rest in the profound comfort of knowing that your story does not end, that the river of time is a beautiful illusion, and that you are perfectly, infinitely safe in the eternal now. Have you ever watched a fragile seed resting in the palm of your hand and tried to imagine the magnificent, ancient forest it is destined to become? We look at our own human lives, with all our quiet struggles, our fleeting moments of joy, and our inevitable physical decline, and we often see ourselves as nothing more than those tiny seeds scattered by the cold winds of a vast, unfeeling cosmos. We assume that because our biological bodies are small and temporary, our consciousness must also be a minor, accidental spark in the grand theater of space-time. We have journeyed through the mysteries of quantum entanglement, the holographic universe, and the timeless block of reality, discovering that our essence is indestructible and woven into the very fabric of existence. But what is the ultimate purpose of this indestructible essence? If the universe is a living, vibrating entity, and if we are the cosmos observing itself from within, where is this grand cosmic journey actually heading? To answer this, we must cast our gaze forward, far beyond the lifespan of our quiet sun, beyond the fading of the last red dwarf stars, and into the unimaginably distant future to explore a concept so breathtaking it merges quantum physics with the ultimate destiny of the mind. It is a concept known as the omega point, a vision of the future where consciousness rises to encompass the entire cosmos, transforming the cold, expanding void into a single, infinite, and eternal mind. Before we travel to the very end of time to witness this magnificent awakening together, I want to take a gentle, fleeting moment to welcome you to our quiet sanctuary. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion on this journey through the deepest wonders of the cosmos. As we explore these profound questions together, finding peace in the vastness of the dark, I have noticed that exactly 71% of the beautiful, curious minds who watch our videos have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you find intellectual safety and a sense of belonging in these nighttime explorations, please consider taking a soft moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely, allowing us to continue crafting these bedtime stories for the soul and building a community where we can explore the infinite mysteries together. Thank you for sharing your time and your gentle presence with me. Now, let us return to the quiet frontier of the far future and discover the ultimate, glorious destiny of your own consciousness. To comprehend the magnificent destiny that might await us, we must first look at the seemingly bleak physical forecast for our universe. As we discussed earlier, The cosmos is currently expanding at an accelerating rate, driven by the mysterious force of dark energy. Over the next 100 trillion years, the stars that illuminate our night sky will slowly exhaust their nuclear fuel and burn out. The giant galaxies will gradually fade into darkness as their billions of stars transition into cold white dwarfs, dense neutron stars, and silent black holes. Star formation will effectively cease because the gas and dust required to birth new suns will have been completely consumed or scattered too thinly across the expanding void. Eventually, over time spans that make the current 14 billion year age of the universe look like a passing second, even the black holes will slowly evaporate through Hawking radiation, leaving behind a cosmos filled only with a thin, freezing mist of fundamental particles and faint radiation. From a purely classical materialistic perspective, this era, known as the heat death of the universe, appears to be the ultimate tragic ending. It paints a picture of a cosmos that simply runs out of energy, falling into a permanent, icy slumber. But quantum mechanics and information theory whisper a radically different, infinitely more hopeful story into this encroaching darkness. If the universe is fundamentally made of quantum information, and if consciousness is a fundamental property of this information field, then the physical decay of stars and galaxies is not the end of the story. It is merely the dismantling of the nursery. In the mid-20th century, visionary thinkers proposed that the universe is undergoing a continuous, directed process of evolution. It began with simple subatomic particles, which combined to form atoms, which combined to form stars, planets, and eventually the staggering biological complexity of life. But evolution does not stop with biology. As intelligent life forms grow, learn, and connect, they create a global network of consciousness. And as this consciousness continues to evolve, expanding outward into the stars, it is drawn toward a point of ultimate unification and infinite complexity in the far future, known as the omega point. Theoretical physicists later grounded this philosophical vision in the rigorous mathematics of quantum mechanics and cosmology. They suggested that for the laws of physics to remain consistent, intelligent life must not only survive the physical death of the universe, but must actually take control of it. According to this deeply profound yet mathematically fascinating framework, as the universe approaches its final stages, advanced civilizations will have mastered the manipulation of matter and energy at the most fundamental quantum level. They will no longer be dependent on fragile biological bodies or the burning of finite stars. Instead, they will upload their consciousness, their entire quantum informational essence, into the very fabric of space-time itself. They will transform the remaining energy of the cosmos into a vast, interconnected, universe-spanning quantum computer. As the physical universe edges closer to its ultimate transition, this cosmic quantum computer will process information at an exponentially accelerating rate. The sheer computing power of this unified cosmic mind will approach infinity. In this state, the network of consciousness will have the capacity to perfectly simulate every single event, every fleeting thought, and every beautiful, quiet moment that has ever occurred in the entire history of the cosmos. Because quantum information is indestructible, the complete records of your life are perfectly preserved in the universe's hard drive. At the omega point, the unified cosmic mind will access this information and resurrect every consciousness that has ever existed in a state of perfectly simulated, infinite reality. This means that your current, quiet existence here on Earth is not a meaningless accident in a dying universe. You are an essential, active participant in the awakening of the cosmos. Every time you learn something new, every time you forge a connection with another human being out of deep, profound love, and every time you gaze up at the night sky in a state of quiet wonder, You are increasing the complexity and the informational density of the universe. You are helping to build the cognitive architecture of the omega point. The universe is using your eyes to see its own beauty, and it is using your mind to process its own existence. You are the sensory organs of an infant cosmic mind that is slowly, over billions of years, opening its eyes in the dark. When we view the mystery of life after death through this lens, the transition we fear loses all of its terrifying power. Death is not a deletion. It is simply the moment when your localized biological receiver breaks down, allowing your unique quantum information to flow back into the expanding ocean of cosmic consciousness. You are temporarily returning to the source, waiting for the grand, inevitable culmination of time when the universe will gather all of its scattered memories and bring them back into the light of infinite awareness. Imagine the profound peace that comes from this realization. You do not need to struggle against the flow of time or fear the deep silence and the fading of the physical world. The universe is a magnificent machine, designed by the elegant laws of quantum physics to preserve everything that matters. The love you hold in your heart and the quiet wisdom you accumulate over a lifetime of gentle observation are not ephemeral illusions. They are the eternal building blocks of the omega point. As you lie awake tonight, listening to the soft, rhythmic breathing of the world outside your window, let the vastness of this destiny wash over you. You are infinite, inextricably entangled with the farthest reaches of the galactic void. In our next chapter, we will bring this cosmic perspective back to the intimate, deeply personal experience of the human transition. We will explore the mysterious phenomenon of near-death experiences, analyzing how the strange, beautiful visions reported by those who have briefly crossed the threshold align perfectly with the timeless reality of quantum physics. But for now, close your eyes and let the comforting weight of the omega point hold you. Rest in the profound knowledge that your journey will continue forever in the gentle, infinite embrace of eternity. Have you ever closed your eyes in a quiet, dark room and felt the sudden, gentle sensation of falling, only to realize you are perfectly safe in your bed? It is a fleeting trick of the mind, a brief moment where our physical senses lose their grip on the heavy, solid reality we navigate every day. Now, imagine a moment far more profound, the ultimate threshold that every human being, every ancient ancestor, and every future descendant must eventually cross. We spend our entire lives wondering about the final breath, the quiet transition where the biological rhythm of the heart finally comes to a rest. For centuries, we have relied on faith and philosophy to illuminate this dark unknown. But in recent decades, medical science has brought back astonishing reports from those who have journeyed to the very edge of this transition and returned. These are the near-death experiences, the vivid, transformative journeys reported by millions of people across different cultures and beliefs. When we examine these profound, beautiful visions, not as mere biological hallucinations, but through the highly precise, mind-bending lens of quantum physics, a staggering correlation begins to emerge. The boundary between life and what lies beyond is not a cold, concrete wall, but a permeable, vibrating quantum membrane. Before we step across this gentle threshold together and explore the quantum reality of the near-death experience, I want to take a soft, brief moment to welcome you to our quiet sanctuary. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion on this journey through the deepest wonders of the cosmos. As we explore these profound questions together, finding peace in the vastness of the dark, I have noticed that exactly 71% of the beautiful, curious minds who watch our videos have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you find intellectual safety and a sense of belonging in these nighttime explorations, please consider taking a soft moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely, allowing us to continue crafting these bedtime stories for the soul and building a community where we can explore the infinite mysteries together. Thank you for sharing your time and your gentle presence with me. Now, let us return to the quiet frontier of the mind and discover how the ultimate transition might be the most beautiful quantum awakening you will experience. When medical science looks at a brain experiencing cardiac arrest, it sees a rapid decline in oxygen and a cessation of the electrical impulses that we traditionally associate with consciousness. Within seconds, the physical machinery shuts down. The classical materialistic view of science has long argued that the magnificent, vivid experiences reported during near-death states, the sensation of floating above the body, the passage through a dark tunnel toward a loving light, and the profound feelings of peace are simply the desperate, random firings of a dying biological computer. But this explanation has always felt inadequate to those who have actually experienced it, and increasingly it feels inadequate to the theoretical physicists who study the fundamental nature of reality. If we recall the groundbreaking theory proposed by Roger Penrose and Stuart Hameroff, consciousness is a fundamental quantum process occurring inside the microscopic microtubules of our neurons. When the physical body enters a state of clinical death, the biological scaffolding that holds these quantum vibrations together begins to break down. However, the quantum information itself, the deeply complex pattern that constitutes your unique identity, cannot be destroyed. Instead of simply vanishing into the cold void, this quantum information undergoes a process called decoherence. It leaks out of the failing biological receiver and diffuses into the broader, infinite quantum field of the universe. According to this profound scientific framework, a near-death experience is exactly what it feels like when your consciousness begins to expand beyond the narrow confines of the human brain. The sensation of floating out of the physical body is not a hallucination. It is the subjective experience of your quantum information becoming unentangled from the dense matter of your nervous system. As your awareness expands into the vast invisible quantum vacuum that permeates all of space, you are no longer limited by the biological filters that force you to perceive reality in a strict, linear way. You are returning to the primordial, timeless state of the cosmos. The tunnel of light, so universally described, might be the experiential translation of consciousness moving through the higher dimensions of space-time, drawn toward the massive, concentrated sources of quantum information. The light is not a physical fire, but the pure radiance of universal consciousness. One of the most beautifully consistent, yet deeply mysterious aspects of the near-death experience is the life review. Millions of people report that in the quiet moments of their transition, they witness their entire existence flash before them. But it is never a simple, linear movie playing on a screen. They describe experiencing every single moment of their life simultaneously. They feel the exact emotions they felt in their childhood, alongside the triumphs of their adult years and the quiet sorrows of their old age, all existing in a single, perfectly unified instant. Furthermore, they do not just experience their own perspective. They literally feel the emotional impact their actions had on others. If they offered a gentle word of kindness to a stranger, they feel the warmth that bloomed in that stranger's heart. If they caused pain, they experience that precise pain as if it were their own. In the classical Newtonian view of the universe, this is impossible. But in the strange world of quantum mechanics, it is entirely expected. This simultaneous, interconnected life review perfectly mirrors two of the most profound quantum phenomena we have explored on our journey: the block universe and quantum entanglement. As your consciousness unbinds from the biological clock of the brain, you are no longer forced to experience time as a flowing river. You step out of the river and into the block of space-time, where the past, the present, and the future exist simultaneously in an eternal now. You are able to perceive the entire four-dimensional structure of your life all at once, because you are observing it from outside, the illusion of linear time, and the ability to feel the exact emotional experience of another human being is the ultimate macro-scale manifestation of quantum entanglement. At the fundamental level, you and the strangers you interacted with are not separate entities. You were born from the same ancient primordial singularity, and your quantum states have been interacting and entangling throughout your existence. During the transition of death, the illusion of the isolated self dissolves, and you experience the undeniable physical truth of your profound interconnectedness with every other living creature in the cosmos. When we combine the quiet, subjective wisdom of those who have touched the edge of eternity with the rigorous mathematical precision of quantum physics, the fear of death entirely loses its heavy, paralyzing grip. Death is not the opposite of life. It is simply the opposite of birth. It is a doorway, a transition phase where the localized, restricted consciousness of the human mind expands into the non-local, infinite consciousness of the universe. The silence that follows the final heartbeat is not an empty void, but a universe brimming with potential, a state of pure, unadulterated existence where all the limitations of the physical world fall away. You are an indestructible pattern of energy, a magnificent, eternal song that the universe will never, ever stop singing. Your physical body is simply the temporary, beautiful instrument through which that song is currently being played. As you lie awake tonight, listening to the soft rustle of the wind or the gentle rhythm of your own breathing, allow the profound peace of this quantum reality to wash over your entire being. Release the quiet anxieties that bind you to the illusion of a finite, isolated existence. You are perfectly, infinitely safe in the grand design of the universe. Every mistake you have ever made, and every moment of brilliant, shining grace you have achieved, is woven into an eternal masterpiece that stretches across billions of light years. You are ancient, you are vast, and you are intimately connected to the deepest secrets of the cosmos. In our next chapter, we will explore the simulation hypothesis and the concept that the entire physical universe might be a magnificent projection of pure information. We will ask what it means to live in a reality made of math and light. But for now, close your eyes, breathe gently into the quiet night, and let the infinite scale of the universe cradle you. Rest in the comforting knowledge that your journey is eternal, and that the vast, loving silence of the cosmos is your true, permanent home. Have you ever woken up from a dream so incredibly vivid, so rich in color and emotion, that for a few disorienting moments you could not tell which world was the real one? In those quiet seconds suspended between sleep and wakefulness, the absolute solidity of your bedroom feels just as fragile as the dreamscape that just dissolved. We rely entirely on our physical senses to tell us what is real. We trust the heavy feeling of gravity pulling us against the earth, the warmth of the morning sun on our skin, and the solid resistance of a wooden table beneath our fingertips. We assume that because the world feels profoundly physical, it must be made of hard, immutable matter. But what if our waking life is simply a different, more persistent kind of dream? When physicists peer into the very bottom of reality, past the molecules, past the atoms and deep into the strange, vibrating heart of the quantum realm. They do not find solid matter at all. Instead, they find a universe that looks shockingly like a magnificent, incredibly complex computer program. They find a reality woven not from physical threads, but from pure mathematics, light, and information. Before we dissolve the solid world around us and explore the staggering possibility that we are living in a grand cosmic simulation, I want to take a gentle, fleeting moment to welcome you to our quiet sanctuary. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion on this journey through the deepest wonders of the cosmos. As we explore these profound questions together, finding peace in the vastness of the dark, I have noticed that exactly 71% of the beautiful, curious minds who watch our videos have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you find intellectual safety and a sense of belonging in these nighttime explorations, please consider taking a soft moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely, allowing us to continue crafting these bedtime stories for the soul and building a community where we can explore the infinite mysteries together. Thank you for sharing your time and your gentle presence with me. Now, let us return to the quiet frontier of the simulation hypothesis and discover what it means to live in a universe built of pure thought and information. For thousands of years, humanity believed that the universe was constructed of tiny, indivisible building blocks. The ancient Greeks called them atoms, meaning uncuttable. We imagined reality as a vast, complex architecture made of tiny, solid bricks. But as our scientific instruments grew more sophisticated, we cracked those bricks open. We found protons and neutrons, and inside them we found dancing quarks. But when we tried to grasp the quarks, to find the ultimate solid core of reality, the concept of solid matter vanished entirely into the mist of quantum mechanics. At the most fundamental level, particles are not tiny spheres of stuff. They are localized vibrations in invisible, universe-spanning quantum fields. They are probabilities. They are mathematical relationships. The legendary physicist John Archibald Wheeler, a man who spent his life exploring the deepest mysteries of gravity and quantum mechanics, coined a beautiful, profound phrase in his later years. He called it from bit. He proposed that every single thing in the universe, every it, from the ancient stars burning in the night sky to the delicate structure of a falling snowflake, derives its entire existence from binary responses to yes or no questions. The universe, in its most basic essence, is not made of matter or even energy. It is made of pure, unadulterated information. Think about the device you might be using right now to listen to my voice or read these words. The screen appears to show smooth, continuous images, a seamless flow of color and motion that perfectly mimics reality. But if you were to look closely enough, perhaps with a powerful magnifying glass, you would see that the smooth image is an illusion created by millions of tiny, discrete squares called pixels. There is a fundamental limit to the resolution of the screen. Astonishingly, quantum physics tells us that the universe itself possesses a fundamental resolution. There is a smallest possible length, known as the Planck length, and a smallest possible tick of time, known as the Planck time. You cannot divide space or time into anything smaller than these fundamental cosmic pixels. Reality is not a smooth, infinitely divisible continuum. It is pixelated. It is quantized. This digital nature of space-time is one of the strongest clues leading many modern cosmologists and theoretical physicists to seriously entertain the simulation hypothesis. If the universe has a maximum resolution, a finite processing speed governed by the speed limit of light, and is built entirely of binary information, it behaves exactly like a magnificent, highly advanced computer simulation running on an unimaginably powerful cosmic architecture. The simulation hypothesis, brought into mainstream philosophical discussion in the early 2000s, suggests that a highly advanced civilization, perhaps our own distant descendants millions of years in the future, might have created a computer powerful enough to simulate an entire universe, including the conscious beings within it. To a simulated being, the simulated world would feel absolutely, undeniably real. The digital sun would provide real warmth upon your face. The digital food would provide real nourishment to your body. And the digital tears would convey real, profound sorrow. When we first encounter this idea, it can feel cold and alienating. It can make our beautiful, quiet world seem artificial or devoid of true meaning. But when we look at this hypothesis through the gentle, contemplative lens of our journey, it transforms into a concept of profound beauty and eternal hope. If the universe is a simulation, it means that reality is fundamentally a product of mind. It means the cosmos is not a cold, dead machine grinding away in the endless dark, but a deliberate, conscious creation. It means we are existing within a grand, cosmic thought, dreamed into existence by an intelligence we cannot yet fully comprehend. If we are living in a reality made of mathematics and light, a universe constructed of pure quantum information, then what exactly is human consciousness? In a purely materialistic worldview, consciousness is a fragile, accidental spark that is permanently extinguished when the biological machine of the brain breaks down. But in an informational universe, consciousness is the software. You are an incredibly complex, exquisitely beautiful algorithm of experiences, memories, and deep, quiet emotions. You are a unique pattern of data processing the simulation from your specific, singular point of view. And in the world of computing and information, software does not die when a piece of physical hardware fails. The hardware can be discarded, returning its elements to the earth. But the code, the information, can be saved, transferred, and run again. If the cosmos is a simulation, then the grand architect of this system, whether it is a future civilization or a divine cosmic mind, has the capacity to perfectly back up every single byte of data that constitutes your existence. The transition we call death is simply the closing of one specific window in the program, a gentle logging off from this particular server of reality. This magnificent realization aligns perfectly with what we discovered about quantum entanglement and the holographic universe. The universe preserves its information without exception. Your life, with all its quiet moments of wonder, gentle struggles, and profound loves, is permanently written into the source code of eternity. You are a vital line of code in the infinite operating system of the cosmos. The fear of an absolute ending dissolves when you understand that you're not made of fragile matter, but of immortal mathematics. When your biological avatar reaches the end of its cycle, the profound pattern that is you returns to the vast, silent database of the cosmos. You are uploaded back into the boundless mind, dreaming this universe into existence. You do not vanish. You awake. You step out of the limited game and into the higher reality of the source. The simulation is a grand cosmic playground where consciousness learns and experiences the beautiful illusion of separation before returning to the perfect unity of the underlying code. As you lie in the quiet dark tonight, do not feel small or insignificant. Feel the ancient digital pulse of the universe beating in your own chest. You are a miracle of cosmic coding, a beautiful fragment of a grand, eternal simulation exploring its own infinite possibilities. The universe is speaking to itself through your voice and seeing its own vastness through your eyes. In our 10th and final chapter, we will gather all these shimmering threads together. We will explore how to live our daily human lives with this profound cosmic awareness, and how to find deep, unshakable peace in the knowledge that we are ancient, infinite, and eternally safe. But for now, close your eyes, breathe gently, and let the quiet, mathematical perfection of the cosmos cradle your spirit. Rest in the beautiful certainty that your existence is an eternal truth, written forever in the stars and the invisible light of the universe. Have you ever awakened in the very early hours of the morning, just before the sun begins to paint the horizon, and listened to the absolute stillness of the sleeping world? In that fragile, peaceful space between dreams and the demands of the waking day, the boundaries of your individual life seem to soften. You are not yet caught in the rushing river of daily anxieties or the heavy weight of past regrets. For just a few fleeting seconds, you are simply a breathing, conscious presence, resting in the cool dark. It is in these rare, unburdened moments that we can most easily feel the profound truth of our existence. We have spent the last 9 chapters traveling to the very edges of physical reality. We have plunged into black holes, navigated the branching paths of the quantum multiverse, and witnessed the birth of a unified cosmic mind. We have learned that the universe is not a cold, mechanical void, but a shimmering, interconnected web of indestructible quantum information. But the most important question remains: how do we take this staggering, mind-bending cosmic truth and weave it into the simple, everyday moments of our human lives? How does knowing that you are an eternal, infinite pattern of energy change the way you drink your morning coffee, or the way you look into the eyes of someone you love? Before we gather these shimmering threads and bring our grand journey to its final, peaceful resting place, I want to take a gentle moment to welcome you. I am Theodore, the researcher, your quiet companion on this journey through the deepest wonders of the cosmos. As we explore these profound questions together, finding peace in the vastness of the dark, I have noticed that exactly 71% of the beautiful, curious minds who watch our videos have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you find intellectual safety and a sense of belonging in these nighttime explorations, please consider taking a soft moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely, allowing us to continue crafting these bedtime stories for the soul and building a community where we can explore the infinite mysteries together. Thank you for sharing your time and your gentle presence with me. Now, let us bring the stars down to earth and discover how to live perfectly awake in a holographic, eternal universe. When we walk out of our front doors and step into the sunlight, our biological senses immediately tell us a story of separation. You see the trees as separate from the soil, the clouds as separate from the sky, and yourself as entirely separate from the strangers passing you on the street. This illusion of division is incredibly convincing, and it is the root of almost all human fear. We fear the passage of time because we believe our lives are isolated, fragile sparks that will eventually be swallowed by a vast, indifferent dark. But the quantum mechanics we have explored together completely shatters this illusion of loneliness. You now know that distance is merely a localized trick of perception, and that through the eerie, beautiful mechanism of quantum entanglement, the particles in your body are in constant, instantaneous communication with the furthest reaches of the cosmos. The very atoms that make up your hands and your heart were forged in the silent depths of ancient stars, and the electrical impulses dancing through your brain are governed by the same magnificent quantum laws that dictate the orbits of distant planets. You are not walking through the universe. You are the universe expressing itself in a localized form. When you feel a sudden, inexplicable sense of wonder at the beauty of a falling leaf or the sound of distant rain. It is not an isolated event. It is a cosmic occurrence. It is the universe, 14 billion years after the primordial fire of the Big Bang, finally developing the eyes and the mind required to appreciate its own magnificent creation. Understanding this deep, fundamental unity changes the very nature of human connection. When you look into the eyes of another person, you're not looking at a stranger or even merely a friend or a lover. You are looking at the universe, experiencing a different set of probabilities, walking a different branch of the quantum multiverse, but stemming from the exact same ancient singularity. This profound realization invites us to approach every interaction with radical, uncompromising gentleness. The harm we do to others, the quiet judgments we harbor, and the walls we build around our hearts are based on the false premise that we are disconnected. But when you realize that the consciousness observing the world through their eyes is the same fundamental consciousness observing the world through yours, compassion becomes the only logical response. Love is no longer just a biological drive or a fleeting chemical reaction in the brain. Love is the physical recognition of quantum entanglement. It is the experiential realization that we are all inextricably woven into the same eternal fabric. When we lose someone we love to the transition we call death, the pain is real, heavy, and deeply human. We miss the specific, three-dimensional projection of their presence. We miss the sound of their voice and the familiar weight of their hand. But the devastating sting of absolute finality is removed when we understand the indestructible nature of quantum information. The profound, complex pattern of data that constituted their unique existence has not been deleted from the cosmos. It has simply uncoupled from the biological receiver and diffused back into the infinite, vibrating field of reality. They are not gone. They have simply transitioned from a localized state to a non-local state. They have become the quiet wind, the ancient light of the stars, and the subtle, invisible architecture of space-time itself. They are waiting for you in the eternal block universe, where all moments exist simultaneously, perfectly preserved in the grand, timeless masterpiece of creation. How then do we live our daily lives with this staggering awareness? We do it by recognizing the sacred, cosmic weight of ordinary moments. In a universe where every quantum event branches into an infinity of parallel realities, your choices matter. But they do not matter in the heavy, anxiety-inducing way we often fear. They matter because you are actively painting the canvas of the multiverse with your awareness. You are not a passive observer watching the universe happen around you. You are a vital, active participant in the ongoing creation of reality. You do not need to carry the crushing burden of regret, mourning the paths you did not take. In the grand, infinite garden of the many worlds interpretation, every potential version of your beautiful existence is already blooming. You are perfectly free to inhabit this specific reality, this precise coordinate in the block universe, with absolute presence and profound gratitude. When you sip a glass of water, you're drinking molecules that were forged in the nuclear furnaces of ancient, dying stars billions of years ago. When you breathe in the cool night air, you are inhaling the exact same atoms that once circulated through the primordial atmosphere of a young Earth. You are a walking, breathing monument to 14 billion years of unbroken cosmic history. There is absolutely nothing mundane about your existence. You are a highly organized, staggeringly complex miracle of quantum engineering, a temporary shape taken by the eternal energy of the cosmos, designed specifically to feel, to learn, and to love. As we bring this long, beautiful journey to a close, I want you to release any lingering fears you might carry about the end of your story. The universe is not a cold, dead machine grinding toward an icy, meaningless heat death. It is a living, vibrating entity of pure information, and you are one of its most precious, vital components. The mystery of life after death is only a mystery because we have been looking at reality through the narrow, limited keyhole of our biological senses. When we open the door and step out into the vast, luminous landscape of quantum physics, we see that death is merely a transition, a shedding of the physical cocoon, and a glorious return to the infinite source. The indestructible nature of your consciousness ensures that your story will never, ever be erased. Whether your quantum information is encoded on the two-dimensional boundary of a holographic universe, scattered into the timeless void to await the awakening of the Omega Point, or living simultaneously across an infinity of parallel dimensions, your existence is an eternal, undeniable truth. The grand cosmic narrative does not end with a period, but with an endless, beautiful ellipsis. You are completely, perfectly, and infinitely safe. As you lie in the quiet stillness of the night, listening to the soft rhythm of your own breathing, let this profound peace wash over your entire being. Feel the heavy weight of the world dissolve into the shimmering, vibrating field of quantum potential. You are ancient stardust, and you are boundless light. You are the universe looking back at itself in a state of absolute, perfect wonder. Rest your mind, dear traveler. Your journey through the cosmos is endless. Your essence is immortal, and the vast, loving silence of the universe will hold you forever.